ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है।
We welcome all of you
गीता के प्रवचन में
to today's Bhagavad-Gita class.
आज हम अध्ययन कर रहे हैं
We are studying
अध्याय का
third chapter,
श्लोक नंबर 36,
verse 36 onwards.
हमने पूर्व के प्रवचनों में सुना। भगवान
As we heard in the previous classes, Bhagavan
प्रवचन कर रहे हैं।
is explaining Karma Yoga
पूछा था
because Arjun had asked
ये श्रेय हम आपने कि आप मेरे को एक निश्चय करके बताइए
that please tell me decisively that
मेरा श्रेय होगा
by which I will attain the ultimate benefit.
भगवान ने सांख्य योग और कर्म योग का विश्लेषण किया था।
In the second chapter, Bhagavan had explained Sankhya Yoga.
पैदा हुई थी कि जो
Arjun got a doubt that the Sankhya Yoga, which is Jnana Yoga, which is a simple process, an easy process.
तो उनके मन में शंका हुई कि भगवान
So he had the doubt that why is Bhagavan engaging me in this ghastly war?
सरलता है,
Although Jnana Yoga is very easy.
पूरा उपदेश दिया कर्म योग के अनुसार। उनका
So then Bhagavan explained Karma Yoga to him and told that whatever is
स्वभाव का
one's nature, one should act accordingly.
स्वभाव शब्द का ही अर्थ होता है स्वस्य भाव है, स्वभाव है, जो मेरा अपना भाव है।
Swabhav means my own bhav.
और सुनाई नहीं पड़ रहा, वॉल्यूम बढ़ा दो थोड़ा। सुनता अभी थोड़ा ठीक है? आवाज आ रही है पीछे? ठीक। तो भगवान ने यही कहा कि
So
प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को
Bhagavan
अपने स्वभाव का पता
said
करना चाहिए
that
कि वो
every
स्वभाव के
person
अनुरूप कार्य
should
करें,
know his own swabhava
क्योंकि अगर हम
and should
स्वभाव के
work
अनुरूप
according
कार्य
to
नहीं
swabhava.
करेंगे
Because if we do not work
तो
according
समस्या
to
है।
our swabhava, then we will
क्योंकि
get into
दूसरे के
trouble.
स्वभाव को तो हम
Because
चेंज कर नहीं सकते हैं और
we
करना
cannot
छोड़ दिया है,
attain another
तो इसलिए
person's
हम अपने
swabhava and
भाव
we
को
have given
छोड़
up
देते
our
हैं।
own swabhava,
और ये
then
आज
we will
संसार में
become miserable.
इस जगत में एक बहुत
And
बड़ी
in
समस्या
today's
का विषय
world,
है, क्योंकि
this is a major
किसी को
problem
पता नहीं है कि मेरा स्वभाव
because
क्या है और मुझे
nobody
क्या करना
knows
चाहिए।
what is his
तो इसलिए
swabhava, what
सब
he
काम
should
हो
do.
जाता है।
He gets influenced
माँ
by
बाप सब कहते हैं
others
कि तुम ये बनो,
or
लेकिन वो ये नहीं
parents
देखते कि उसके
tell
अंदर
him
ऐसी योग्यता
that
है
you become
या
like
ऐसा
this,
स्वभाव है या
but
नहीं है।
he does not
तो
check
इसलिए पिछले श्लोक में भगवान
whether
ने
he
कहा
is
है
fit for that or no. So
श्रेयान्
Bhagavan
स्वधर्मो
told in the previous
परधर्म
verse,
स्वनिष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनम श्रेय परधर्मो भयावह। उन्होंने यहाँ तक कहा कि परधर्म
he
तो
said
भयावह
that
है, प्राय करके
following another person's dharma
लोगों को
is
भयावह
very
नहीं समझते हैं,
dangerous.
लेकिन भगवान कहते हैं
Generally, people
सबसे
die
ज्यादा भयावह
due
तो
to
परधर्म से करना
people
चाहिए।
are afraid of death, but Bhagavan is telling
अगर
that
हम चलेंगे
more than death, you should be
और
afraid of following another
जीवन
person's
पूर्ण ऐश
dharma.
करेंगे और
Because if you
संसार
do
में
that,
समाज में
you will destroy your
बुराई नहीं
life
करेंगे,
and you will create lot
तो
of chaos
इसलिए
in the society
इस बात
also.
पर उन्होंने बहुत
That is
जोर दिया।
why Bhagavan
तो इसलिए
placed lot
स्वधर्म
of emphasis
में इस
on this
प्रकार
point. So hearing
कि
this, Arjun
अपने
got the
स्वभाव
doubt
का
that
पालन करना कल्याणकारक है।
if
तो व्यक्ति
it
को
is
स्वधर्म से
beneficial to
हमेशा
follow
चलना
one's
चाहिए।
own swadharma, then why
आखिर उसे
does
क्यों चलना
human
चाहिए,
being not follow his dharma?
क्यों वो
And why
भटक
does
रहा है,
he imitate another person's
उसके
dharma?
पीछे
And
मूल
why does
कारण
he
क्या
get
है।
implicated in sinful
तो
activity?
अर्जुन
What is the primary
ये
reason behind
विवेक
that? So Arjun is a
या
discriminating person.
फिर
He has
जिसको हम
viveka.
कहते हैं
It is
प्रज्ञा,
not
जिसे
that
कहते हैं कि
he hears
जिनका
something and
स्वभाव के
just
ऊपर कोई
does
प्रभाव नहीं
whatever
पड़ता,
he hears.
वो
We see
इसलिए
that
बोलता
people
क्योंकि
hear
जो
a
सुनने वाले
lot,
उस पर
but
चिंतन
they
नहीं
do
करते
not
हैं
follow that.
कि
And
क्या
that is
करना
because
है
people do
जीवन
not
में, मेरे
introspect
लिए
on
क्या
what they have
कर्तव्य है
heard.
या मेरे लिए क्या करणीय है। तो
They do
इसलिए
not introspect
अर्जुन ने जब ये
what is
सुना
good for me,
तो
what I
अर्जुन
should
को ये
do, what I
समझ में
should
आया
avoid. So when Arjun heard,
ऐसा
he
क्यों
got the
होता है,
doubt
क्योंकि
that
अगर व्यक्ति अपने
why does
स्वभाव
this
को छोड़
happen?
नहीं सकता है,
Because if a human
उसका
being
स्वभाव
cannot
ग्रहण नहीं कर
leave
सकता है,
his give up his
तो ऐसा
swabhava and he
क्यों होता
cannot
है
attain
कि
another
आज
person's swabhava,
क्या
then
हम
why is it
अपने
that
स्वभाव
human
को
being
छोड़ दें
engages in sinful
या हम किसी
activity?
दूसरे के कारण
is
पाप
is
करने
is
लगते
it
हैं।
our
तो
swabhava to
इसके
do
पीछे
sinful
क्या है,
activity, or is somebody else
अगर हम
responsible for our engagement in sinful activity?
इतना सब कुछ सुनते
And
रहते हैं तो
why
हमें
do we enjoy
भक्ति करनी
sinful
चाहिए,
activities so much? Although we hear so much about dharma, about
क्यों
bhakti,
अधार्मिक विचार आते
but
हैं,
still, why do we
क्यों
get
फिर
sinful
पाप करने
thoughts in
लगते
our
हैं,
mind?
ऐसा क्यों होता है।
Why do we
तो ये बहुत
engage in sinful
गंभीर
activities?
चीज है
So
जो
this is
हमें
a very
सभी साधकों के
practical
लिए और
point
सभी साधक ही
to be
जानते हैं।
understood,
तो
especially
इसलिए
for all sadhus,
मैं
all
कहता हूँ कि
sadhakas. We are all sadhakas. So
इसलिए
this is very important to
ये
deliberate on
गीता की
this.
श्रृंखला है, इसका मैंने
That's
नाम दिया
why
था गीता
this
हमारा जीवन।
lecture series is
क्योंकि
entitled
जीवन
Bhagavad Gita and Our
वही
Life,
बातें हैं जो भगवान हमें
because
बताते हैं।
whatever Bhagavan is explaining is all relevant in our
तो
life.
इसलिए अर्जुन पूछता है, अर्जुन उवाच
So that's why Arjun asks,
अयम पापम चरति पुरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजितः। तो अर्जुन ने पूछा कि हे कृष्ण, मनुष्य को अनिच्छा
translation,
से
Arjun
पाप करने के
inquired,
लिए क्या
what
प्रेरित
impels
करता
a
है,
person, O Krishna,
किस प्रेरणा
to
से
commit sin even
दो कारण है कि
unwillingly,
आदमी इच्छा से
as
पाप
if
करता है,
driven by force?
लेकिन
One is
अनिच्छा
that
से
a person
जानते हुए कि ये
does
करना
sin
गलत है
by
और
desire,
मैं इसको नहीं
and
करना
one
चाहता,
is another is he
फिर भी
understands
अपने
that
आप
it
को
is
उसमें
wrong and he
करता है।
doesn't want to do
ऐसा
that,
क्यों होता है।
still he feels impelled to
ऐसा
do
लगता है
this.
जैसे मानो उसको कोई बलपूर्वक
It
किसी
seems
कार्य
as
में
if
नियोजित कर रहा
somebody
है।
is forcefully impelling
तो ये
him to
प्रश्न
engage in that
किसी
sinful
के भी मन
activity.
में आता है।
So this question arises in everyone's life, and in sadhaka's life. This is very common. We have to understand this. Otherwise, what will happen is we engage in bhajan sadhan, but we do not see the proper result. So everything has a cause, and until and unless we investigate the cause, we will not be able to solve the problem. So Bhagavan has given us buddhi so that whatever problem we have, whether in our day-to-day life, in our sadhana, what is the cause of the problem, and what is the solution to that. Once we understand the cause, then we have to deliberate what is the solution of the problem. There may be some problems where there is no solution, so there we don't have to do anything. Whatever is beyond our control, because many times we keep wasting our time on topics with which we have nothing to do. We don't have to do anything. Discussing in about politics of some country or our country, so that discussion doesn't give us any benefit. First of all, we have to see what is our qualification, our eligibility, and how we can engage that in Bhagwan's seva, and whatever obstacle we are facing, how can we remove that obstacle, and what I want to obtain. Why am I not able to obtain? What is the obstacle? So it is very important to deliberate on this. So Arjun's inquiry is related to this only. This is what the word Arjuna means. The word Arjuna means straight, one who thinks clearly, in a straightforward way, and who can even stand in front of Bhagavan and ask him question directly. So in our, we also get such thoughts that we cannot do anything. There is some black magic being done on me. That is why this is happening to me. In Christianity, in Islam, there is a concept of devil or jinn. So they say that the devil impels us to engage in such activities. Some people say Bhagavan impels us to do sinful activities. Duryodhan also said like this. When Duryodhan was asked, why do you engage in adharma? Why don't you perform dharma?
जैसा भगवान मेरे को लगा रहे हैं वैसे मैं कर रहा हूँ.
So Duryodhan replied, how in whatever way Bhagavan is engaging me, he is impelling me to act, I am doing that. So this is just a lame excuse. Nobody else is engaging you in any sinful activity. It is you who have to do the right activity. Let's say you are walking on the road and you just trip, you fall down due to some obstacle. So did any devil impel you into this? Did any devil cause you to fall down? No. There is law of gravity. You lost your balance and you fell down. So there is no devil who did anything. Neither, nor did Bhagavan do anything to you. Whatever is happening here, everything is being controlled by Bhagavan. But Bhagavan is the controller in such a way, like suppose there is a machine and that machine works on electricity. So if there is a small machine, it will do some small work. Some big machine will do big work. So electricity is not telling that you do this or you do that. Electricity simply gives power. So the way the machine is designed, accordingly it will work. So if the machine gets rusted, then it may stop also. So that's not the fault of electricity. Similarly, our body is a machine.
भूतानि यंत्रारूढ़ानि माया. तो यंत्र एक तरह से हमारा शरीर है और भगवान.
So our body is a machine and it works by Bhagavan's energy. Now, but whatever bhava we feed into this body, that is our own desire. So in that now we cannot blame Bhagavan or Maya, that Bhagavan or Maya impelled us to do this. Bhagavan has given us buddhi. We should use that buddhi and we should keep this machine functioning in the proper order by our diet, our lifestyle.
वो सब संतुलित रहे तो मशीन
It
ठीक से
should
चलेगी,
remain balanced.
हमारी विचारधारा ठीक
And then
रहेगी।
this body
अगर
machine will function
हम इस
properly
पर ध्यान नहीं
and we
देंगे
will have the proper
तो
thoughts and desires. But if
हमारे
we do not deliberate on
अंदर जो
this,
है
then
कुछ विकार आएंगे, कुछ विकृति आ जाएगी।
then there will be
तो
vikritis,
उसका
there
हमें
will
ध्यान रखना
be
है।
wrong thoughts in us,
लेकिन अर्जुन
and then we have to
संदेह में
observe
था कि
that.
भगवान ने दो तीन बातें
Now,
पहले
why
कही
did Arjun become doubtful?
एक
Because
तो उन्होंने
Bhagavan had
श्लोक में
told
पढ़ा
2 or 3 points
कि
earlier.
संगस्ते उपजायते संगात संजायते काम, के विषयों का संग करने से काम पैदा होता है, फिर उससे समस्या आती है। एक उन्होंने ये कहा
He
था कि
said that when
विषय
we
ज्ञान
associate with
संगोष्ठी
sense objects,
व्यवस्थित
then there is karma inside
राग द्वेष
us.
से परिपंथिनो, कि हर एक इंद्रिय के अपने राग द्वेष व्यवस्थित हैं
He also
और
said
उनको
that
व्यवस्थित होना चाहिए।
every indriya, every sense has its own raga dvesh,
कार्य
so
क्रिया
we should be
कर्म
careful of
कर्म
that.
सर्वस्व
Then
अहंकार
in this chapter, he also said
कि सब काम जो है वो प्रकृति करा रही है।
that everything is
इसमें ये
being
शंका हो
done
सकती है
by
फिर
Prakriti.
मैं कहाँ से आ गया बीच में, प्रकृति करा रही है, इंद्रियों के राग द्वेष हैं, विषय चिंतन से ऐसा हो जाता है। तो इसमें मूल कारण क्या है, इसके लिए अर्जुन
So,
ने ये
what is the
प्रश्न
main
किया।
cause behind all this? That's what Arjun is
हमें
asking.
ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि
So
भगवान
now
हमें
we should not
प्रेरणा दे
think
रहे हैं,
that Bhagavan is impelling
क्योंकि
us
एक ये
to
नियम
do
है
the sinful
कि जो
activity,
फल का दाता होता
because
है
there is a
वो
rule.
उसको कराता नहीं है।
There is a rule that
फल सब जगह
one
वही
who
देता
gives
है,
the phala or the fruit
दाता
does
वही है।
not impel into the activity to get
हमारे
that
अंदर
fruit.
इतनी
Now we
योग्यता नहीं
know
है कि अपने
that
कर्म के अनुसार वो अपने
we
फल
get the
प्राप्त कर
phala
ले,
from Bhagavan
क्योंकि
only.
हमारा कर्म
No human being
हमारे
has
कर्मों
that
से
capability to
संयुक्त
get
होकर
the phala
तो
independently on
उसकी
his
व्यवस्था
own,
भगवान करते हैं।
because we are living in a very
हमारा कार्य
complex
कितना
system
है
where there are
वो
many
व्यक्ति नहीं
factors.
कराता है।
Now, one
एक
who
व्यक्ति
gives
को
the
गलत
phala,
काम क्यों कराएगा?
he will not engage us in
अगर आपके
sinful activity.
व्यक्ति कार्य कर रहा है, कर्म
Why
कर
will he
रहा है,
engage us in
तो
sinful
उसको अच्छा
activity?
नहीं
Why
लगेगा,
not in the in
तनख्वाह
the
नहीं
right
मिलेगी
activity?
और वो
If
गलत
you
काम
are
करेगा।
employee, if you have employed a person and
तो
your
जो कार्य
employee
मैंने
does the wrong
मनुष्य दे
thing,
रखा है वो ठीक
then
काम
you
करे,
are not responsible for
उसके
that
लिए आपको
because you
वेतन
have
देना
not
नहीं है।
told him to do the
जब
wrong
आप
thing.
उसको वेतन
You are
देंगे
paying him money
तो आप
to
उससे
do the right
आप क्यों
activity.
गलत काम कराएंगे उससे?
When you are paying
वो
him the
उसकी जिम्मेदारी
salary,
नहीं है।
why will you ask him to
भगवान
do
हमारे
the
मालिक हैं,
wrong
इंद्रियों
activity?
के दाता हैं,
So if
तो
Bhagavan
वो उससे गलत
is
काम नहीं कराएंगे।
giving the phala of
ये
our
इसकी जिम्मेदारी
karma,
है।
why will he impel us
इसलिए
to
ये
do the
इसको
wrong activity?
क्योंकि जब तक हम इस बात
That's
को नहीं
why we
समझेंगे
have to
तब
understand
तक हम
this.
दायित्व नहीं
Because
लेंगे अपने
until
ऊपर
and unless we
और
understand
दूसरों के
this,
ऊपर
we
डालेंगे।
will not be able to take responsibility of our
सिक्का
karma. We will
इसलिए है
always blame
कि
others
हम दूसरों के ऊपर दोष
for
डालते
our
रहें।
troubles.
अगर
And
मैं
we
अच्छा
have
हूँ
this mentality
तो मैं तुम्हारे लिए
of
अच्छा हूँ,
blaming others for our own
अगर
troubles.
तुम ऐसे होते तो
If
मैं
I
ऐसे
am
होता,
suffering today, then I
अगर
blame
तुम्हारी
you.
लड़ाइयाँ होती तो
Because
मैं
of
तुम्हारे
you, I
साथ
am
अच्छा
suffering
होता।
today. All
कभी
the
कभी होता है
fights in
पत्नी
the
पत्नी की
family,
समस्या, पति
they are
पत्नी की
due to this
समस्या,
only,
जैसे आश्रम में चले
blaming
जाओ
each other.
तो
You go
पति
to any
पत्नी की
ashram,
समस्या का
in
जवाब
ashram also you see this
हमारे
only.
अध्यक्ष महोदय
Everybody blames the other
हमेशा समस्या
people
पैदा करते हैं।
for the problems.
तो हम हर चीज को, क्योंकि हम स्वयं उसको नहीं कर जाना चाहते हैं, स्वयं को नहीं
So
बदलना
we do
चाहते,
not want
तो
to
उसके लिए
change
हमें बहुत प्रयास
ourselves
करना पड़ेगा।
because that
हम चाहते
is
हैं कि
hard
पूरी दुनिया
labor.
अगर बदल जाए और मैं ऐसा
So
ही रहूं तो
we
मैं खुश
expect
रहूंगा,
that if whole world changes and I remain
तो ये
as I
कभी होने
am,
वाला नहीं है।
then I will be happy.
आप अपने आप
But
को
that is
बदलेंगे
never
तो पूरी दुनिया
possible.
को क्या बदलेंगे?
When you
और अगर
cannot change
अपने आप पूरी
yourself,
दुनिया को
how
बदलेंगे
will
तो
you
उससे
change
क्या
the
होगा?
world?
आजकल
And the
जितने भी
problem is every person is expecting the
सोसाइटी में सब
world to
सोसाइटी
change.
दिखेंगे आपको,
Wherever you go, you will
लेकिन
see only international
वो
societies.
साधना करते थे।
Earlier, it was not like
हर
that.
एक व्यक्ति
Earlier, everybody
दुनिया को बदलने में
was
लगा हुआ है।
focusing on his own sadhana. Today, everybody is
आप
engaged
अपने
in
आप को
changing
बदलें
the whole world.
बहुत है,
But
और क्योंकि
if you
आप
can change
हमारे
yourself,
अंश
that
हैं,
itself is
और
enough.
अगर आप
And
बदल
because
जाएंगे
you are also a part of this
और
world,
हम
if you
स्वयं
have
नहीं
changed
बदल सकते
yourself, then the world has also changed.
ये
And
पृथ्वी
if we are not ready to change ourselves, nobody else will also
संघर्ष कर
change.
रहा है, वो इसलिए
So the question that Arjun is raising here is because Arjun wants to change himself. Arjun is a very high grade sadhak. Actually, he is a Bhagavan, he is a Parshad of Bhagavan. But here Bhagavan is teaching through him what is the quality of a good sadhak. A good sadhak focuses on his own problem, not on others' problems. And generally in life, we always reflect on others' problems, not on our own problem. Now, here Bhagavan is teaching that don't implicate yourself in others' dharmas. It is better for you to die performing your own dharma. That's why Arjun is asking that even unwillingly, why do people commit sin as if driven by force?
30 साल हमारी तो कोई इच्छा नहीं थी, हमें कोई प्रयोजन नहीं था, हम जानते भी नहीं थे। ये बाबा भी हमें पता चला कि ये तो कहीं और रहते थे।
So I also came to know this Baba, he stays somewhere else. I used to teach in Bhaktivedanta Swami Gurukul. What had I got to do with all this fight here? So forcefully got engaged in this, and by Bhagavan's mercy, somehow Jugal Charan Baba came here, and all this fighting this stopped,
लेकिन कोई तो निमित्त बनता है
and I'm here. So somebody becomes a nimitta.
हमारा भी कोई पाप कर्म रहा होगा पूर्व जन्म का कि हमको इस झगड़े में पड़ना पड़ा, नहीं तो हमें क्या प्रयोजन था इससे। मैं तो अपने हृदय की बात कहता, मेरा बिल्कुल भी कोई प्रयोजन। और बला
So I had nothing to do with the fight that happened here, and forcefully I was brought into this.
मैं ही इसके पीछे, जैसे मैं ही इसको खाऊंगा।
And I was implicated in such a way into this as if I am going to take it away, and I anyway could not do anything.
बिल्कुल जो अर्जुन प्रश्न पूछ रहा है, मैं आज सुबह इस श्लोक को देख रहा था, तो तभी ये विचार
So when I was reflecting on this verse in the morning, so I was thinking the whole episode of Bhagavad Nivas was like this only, that forcefully I got implicated into this. So whatever happened by mercy of our previous Gurujanas or Acharyas, so we reflect in a way that maybe something wrong had happened, that's why we got implicated. So this is a highly very pure place. This is the place of Shri Pandit Baba. So many of you don't know about this. This place was established by Shri Kripa Sindhu Das Babaji Maharaj. You can see his photo here. And Shri Pandit Baba is the third. Kripa Sindhu Das Babaji Maharaj is the third person in the photo here. So earlier he used to stay in the near the place of the Vrindavan Research Institute. And in his Smriti, this Bhagavat Nivas place was made here. And my Param Gurudev and my Gurudev, they had contributed a lot to making this place. And Shri Kripa Sindhu Das Babaji Maharaj had written this. It was shown to me in the register also. It was written there. So in that way I am related here. And
जन समाज में मेरा प्रवचन आज पहली बार हो रहा है। मैं तो अपने
बच्चों को पढ़ाता हूँ। First time I am lecturing in a public place. I just teach my students. I consider myself also as a student only, not some guru, acharya, pandit or kathavachak. I am a student and I still study.
हमारे जो दो महापुरुष यहाँ बैठे हैं, उन्होंने कहा अच्छा आप विद्यार्थी आपकी परीक्षा लेते हैं।
So the two personalities were sitting. They brought me because they wanted to test me.
वो बहुत ही
So whatever
महत्वपूर्ण है
Bhagavan is answering here,
सभी साधकों के लिए, चाहे वो
that is
किसी भी
very
योग मार्ग में
important
हो,
for every sadhak,
योग मार्ग के हों, चाहे
irrespective
कर्म
of the
मार्ग के हों,
path
चाहे भक्ति
that
मार्ग के
sadhaka
हों,
is following,
तो वो
that it is
सभी के
karma,
लिए
yoga,
एक
bhakti.
बहुत महत्वपूर्ण विषय है समझना इसको, क्योंकि ये समस्या हर एक साधक के जीवन में आती है, हर
It
एक
is
व्यक्ति के
important
जीवन
for
में,
everyone to
सभी
understand. Every person
साधक
faces this, but
तो
we are all
इसका
sadhakas here.
होना आवश्यक है।
That's
तो
why
भगवान
we
का
have to
उत्तर
understand
बड़ा
this.
बहुत है, काम एष क्रोध एष
So Bhagavan
रजोगुण
replies,
समुद्भवः महाशनो महापापमा विद्धि एनम ये वैरिण। तो भगवान ने उत्तर दिया कि ये जो
translation, Shri Bhagavan replied,
जो रजोगुण से उत्पन्न होता है,
it is material
भगवान के
desire,
द्वारा जो
kama,
किया जाता है,
born from the guna
ये
of
ही
passion or
समस्या का
rajas,
कारण है।
and which later transforms
इसके
into
दो
anger.
कारण हैं, एक तो महासन है,
So
यानी
this
कि
is the cause of the problem. So it has two
खाना मतलब बहुत खट्टा मीठा है,
characteristics. It is insatiable.
और दूसरा
It is
महापाप
never
है,
satisfied.
और ये बहुत
It eats a
पापी
lot.
है, अशुभ है।
And the other is,
यानी
it
कि
is highly
सोच एक
inauspicious.
साधक का अगर है तो ये काम है।
So know it to be the enemy on the path
तो
of
विश्लेषण करना है कि
liberation.
ये है
So
क्या,
this karma is
आखिर
the
कैसे
greatest
आता है,
enemy of every
इसके पीछे
sadhak.
जड़ है,
So we'll try to understand
कैसे
that
इससे
what is the root cause of this
मुक्ति पा सकते
karma,
हैं।
how it appears in our life, and
तो
how
पहले तो
can
ये
we
समझना है कि
become
ये
free
जो
from
भगवान
it.
ने कहा कि ये जो काम है ये
So first
रजोगुण
of
से
all, we
उत्पन्न
have
हुआ
to
है,
understand
रजोगुण
that
समुद्भव
this karma, it is born
लेकिन पहले
from
भगवान ने क्या कहा,
Rajoguna.
ध्याय तो विषयान पुंस संगस्ते जायते संगात संजायते काम, वहां कहा था उन्होंने
So
विषय के
earlier
संग से,
Bhagavan had said that karma is born by association with Vishaya, and
आगे
here he
जाके
is telling
कहेंगे
it is due to
संकल्प
Rajoguna.
प्रभुवान कामान त्यक्त्वा
Later he will
सर्वकाम
say
परित्यजत, कि काम जो है वो संकल्प से पैदा होता है।
that karma is born from Sankalpa.
आगे जाके एक और नई बात कहेंगे, रजो रागात्मकम विद्धि
Then later he will tell one
तमोजन्म
more thing
समुद्भव, कि तो रजोगुण जो है वो काम से पैदा होता है। अभी
that
तो बहुत
Rajoguna is born from karma.
यहाँ जैसे कहते हैं कि
So
वहाँ
this
एक
appears
व्यक्ति
quite confusing.
दर्शन करने के लिए आए, आप उससे पूछो आपका क्या
Like
नाम
if
है,
somebody comes here for darshan, so if you ask him his name, suppose he says Maniram,
मुझे फणीराम,
and somebody else asks him, he says my name is Faniram. Then somebody else asks him, he says name is Ganiram.
मनीराम हो के फणीराम हो, कहता मैं मनी
So
के
then
लिए
the
आया हूँ
confusion
फणीराम,
is, are you Maniram, Ganiram, or Faniram? So he
परमात्मा
says,
को
I
जानने
make
के लिए
money,
आया
so I am Maniram, and I have jnana, so I am Ganiram.
हूँ। तो
So I am all of
ये
this.
समस्या आती है कि क्या है,
But
क्योंकि
here the problem
हम
is
समझेंगे कि काम का
that
मूल क्या
what
है,
is this? What is
तो हम
the
उसको कैसे
root cause of karma?
हटाएंगे, क्योंकि इसको वैरी बता रहे हैं भगवान, हमारा ये शत्रु है।
Bhagavan is telling
यानी
this
कि
is
हमारे
enemy
आध्यात्मिक मार्ग पर
on our
सबसे बड़ी
spiritual
समस्या
path.
पैदा करने वाला जो
The
हमारा शत्रु है
biggest problem
वो है काम।
is, the biggest enemy is karma.
अर्जुन एक योद्धा पुरुष है, तो वो जानना चाहता है कि ये रहता कहाँ है ताकि इसके ऊपर
Arjun
हमला
is
करें,
a great warrior,
क्योंकि शत्रु
so
से
Arjun wants to know how can I kill it.
व्यवहार करने के चार तरीके हमारे
There
शास्त्रों ने
are
बताए,
4 ways to deal with
साम
an enemy. Shastra
भेद
has
दंड।
taught Sama, Dama, Danda, and
एक से
Bhed.
आप बातचीत कर लो,
First
शांति
is
से बातचीत
Sama, you
करो,
just discuss with him
उससे कोई
and try
लड़ाई नहीं,
to resolve the issue.
लड़ाई झगड़ा करना नहीं।
And there is no
फिर
fighting.
है दान, अगर उसने नहीं मानता तो उसको
Second
कुछ
is
दे दो,
Dan.
उससे
If
मत
you
मांगो,
give him something, then
वो
he
नहीं
may
मानता है तो फिर भेद पैदा
give
करो,
up the
भेद हो
issue.
तो सीधा
Then the
रास्ता
third
निकल
is
जाएगा,
Bhed. The
वो
first
नहीं
two are
मानता तो
simple processes. Now
उसके
the third is
अंदर
Bhed.
जाके भेद पैदा
Then
करने
you
का
enter his
प्रयास
camp
करो,
and create a
वो
Bhed,
भी नहीं चलता है तो फिर तो लठ है,
a difference.
फिर तो आपसे
And
लड़ना
the
पड़ेगा।
last option is
तो हमें उससे
Danda.
लड़ने की आवश्यकता
There
नहीं
you
है,
have to fight.
उससे
So
लड़ने
always there is no
की
need to
आवश्यकता
fight. Before
नहीं।
that,
ये
there
जो
are 3 other ways also.
इस पर
But here,
साम दान
the
भेद से
Kama,
कुछ नहीं चलता, ये सिर्फ
Sam, Dam, and Bhed, they
दान
do
भी
not work on Kama.
दाम दाम का मतलब दान भी होता है, उसको दान मान देना, दाम का मतलब होता है दमन करना,
Although the word Dama is
शिष्ट
used,
दमन
there
करना,
Dama does not mean
भगवान कृष्ण ने
rope.
दमन किया ना
But
यशोदा
even
मैया
if you
को,
take the meaning of rope, it is meant to control
दाम भी
only.
बोलते हैं,
Like Mother Yashoda was trying to control Bhagavan by tying him with the rope. So there it means to control.
तो तो इसलिए इस काम के साथ में
So that is why, along with this karma, what we should do, because
भेद ये सब चलता नहीं,
Sam, Dam, Bhed, they do not work on this karma.
महाबाहो काम रूपम दुरासदम कहता है इसको मारो, वो ये नहीं कह रहा कि इसके साथ में दोस्ती करो, इसके
So
साथ में
Bhagavan
सदुपयोग
says,
करो,
kill it. Bhagavan is not telling that you make a compromise with karma, make friendship. Because some people think that, okay, let us enjoy karma a little bit. Like somebody has diabetes and he is not supposed to take sugar, but then he says, okay, little bit is allowed. No, it is enemy. Whether you take in little quantity or more quantity, it will cause harm to you. So it is not going to agree.
शत्रु का मतलब होता है जिसका शासन करना,
So it is Shatru, it is enemy. That means must kill it.
है क्या और ये कैसे
But
आता
then
है,
we have to understand what is this karma and how does it appear. This is what we have to understand,
ये ही सारे अवगुणों का मूल है,
because this is the
जैसे हैं
root cause of all the
क्रोध है, इसे वास्तव में तो क्रोध
avagunas, the wrong qualities. Actually,
वही कहा
Kam,
भगवान ने, कामा
Krodh,
क्रोध
they are different. Earlier also, Bhagavan said that Krodha is born from Kama. So Krodha is also known as Kamanuj, the younger brother of Kama.
या उसका पुत्र है,
Or you may say the son of Kama.
प्रद्युम्न है और उनका पुत्र अनिरुद्ध
So, like there is Pradyumna and his son Aniruddha.
जो है वो कामदेव के अवतार हैं, उनके पुत्र
So,
अनिरुद्ध
is the avatar of Kamadev
उनके
and his
इंचार्ज
son is Aniruddha. And is the in charge of, one is in charge of
क्रोध है,
Mana, other of Buddhi.
दोनों आते हैं एक साथ, और ये समझाने के लिए कि इसी
So,
से ये सब पैदा होता है,
because Kama and Krodh, they come
क्रोध जो
together.
है
So, it is being explained that everything is born from this only.
आपकी कामना है,
If you have a desire,
कोई
a
तामना
kamana,
अवरोध पैदा
and
करता है,
somebody places obstacle on that, then you become angry.
लेकिन अगर कोई व्यक्ति आपसे
But
बलशाली है
if some person
और आप उसके
is more
बलशाली होने को
powerful than
नहीं चाहते,
you and you cannot fight against
उसके
him,
ऊपर आपको क्रोध आ रहा है, एक तो यह कि क्रोध आया से आपने गाली गलौज किया, लेकिन वो आपका
one is
बॉस है
that you become angry
या ऑफिस
and you start
या मैं महाराज
abusing
हूँ
that person. But if you are
या मैं
working
राजा
under
हूँ,
your boss
तो उसको
or
गाली गलौज नहीं कर सकते,
mahanta,
आप नहीं कर सकते, तो फिर क्या होगा, उससे द्वेष आएगा,
then you cannot abuse
उससे
that
ईर्ष्या
person.
रहेगी,
But then what will happen? You will become envious
और
of
ज्यादा
that
बलशाली है तो उसे बुरा भी
person.
लगेगा कि यार ये
And
मेरे
if
से
that person is more
काम से
powerful, then
क्रोध,
you will
उससे
become
द्वेष,
fearful of him also.
और अगर काम
So
से
from
कोई
Kam there is Krodh, then there is
काम से
Bhaya,
संतुष्ट
Dvesha.
होता है इसलिए उसको महान
And
मानता है,
if Kama is satisfied, then you become greedy.
तो अगर वो
Then you
पूरा
want
हो
more
गया
of it.
तो
Like
उसमें
if somebody eats
फिर
more
आपकी
and
इच्छा
he is
और
done,
बढ़ेगी,
then the desire to eat
तदेव
more
अभिनिवर्तते
will again arise.
काम कामानाम उपभोगेन साम्यति हविषा कृष्ण वर्तमैव पुनरेवाभि भूय एव अभिवर्धते। तो ये ययाति का श्लोक है जिसने
So
अपना
this
यौवन,
verse is by Yayati,
जिनका यौवन
who
चला गया था और अपने पुत्र से यौवन लेके उन्होंने
had lost
इंतजार
his
किया
youth
भोग
and
करने
he
का,
took youth from his
भोग करने
son
के बाद
and enjoyed for 1000 years.
फिर भी
And
शांति नहीं
after
मिली,
having enjoyed so
तो
much,
उन्होंने फिर ये
still he was not satisfied. And then
न जातु
he
अभ्यंतर
recited this verse
उपभोगेन साम्यति कि काम जो है
that
वो उपभोग से शांत नहीं होता,
karma is never satisfied by enjoying.
वो इसी प्रकार से है
It
जैसे
is
अग्नि में
such
आप घी
that
डालें,
you pour
हविषा कृष्ण
ghee
व्रत में
into fire,
भूये, तो अग्नि में अगर आप घी डालेंगे तो वो बढ़ेगा ही, तो कुछ कामनाएं तो ऐसी हैं
then the fire will grow
जो शरीर
more.
के लिए आवश्यक है,
So there are some desires which are necessary for our body.
तो
Like
वो वास्तव
if
में
we
आसानी
have
से उसको
hunger, then we have to eat.
पूर्ण नहीं होता है,
So that hunger is actually not, this kamana here
कोई रोकता
is
नहीं,
not that hunger.
शरीर रखने के लिए
Nobody is
शरीर
telling
रखने
you
के लिए
don't satisfy your
इस
hunger.
तरह का ही
But
भोग
then
करना
if you
है,
say that I want such and such food only
इसलिए
to
भागवत में
satisfy my hunger,
आरंभ में
then it is called
ऐसे बताते
kamana.
हैं कि जीवस्य
That's
परम
why
जिज्ञासा,
In Bhagavatam, in the beginning only, Suta Goswami ji says that the goal of our life is Tattva Jigyasa. That's why we should accept only that much by which our life can continue properly. Like in Gita, Bhagavan has said
कि हमारा खान पीन, हमारा स्वप्न यानी कि
that
सोना,
our eating, our sleeping, everything should be balanced.
ज्यादा खाएंगे तो समस्या होगी,
If we eat
शरीर
more, there will be
कम खाएंगे
trouble.
तो शरीर दुर्बल हो जाएगा, ज्यादा
Body will
सोएंगे
become
तो
diseased. If
समस्या
we
होगी,
eat
कम सोएंगे
less,
बुद्धि कम
then
चलेगी।
also there will be trouble. If we sleep
इसलिए हर
more
चीज को
or
संतुलन में
less,
रखना
then
चाहिए
there will be trouble.
और फिर हमको अपना
Our
जीवन
buddhi will not function
ज्ञान
properly.
भगवत प्राप्ति में लगाना।
So we have to keep the body healthy
लेकिन
in a
अगर
balanced state
हम
and
अपने
engage in
इंद्रियों
tattva
को भोगने में
jigyasa.
लग जाते हैं,
But then,
तृप्ति
if
कभी
we
होने
get
वाली नहीं।
implicated in sense
ये
enjoyment,
काम का स्वभाव ही
then
ऐसा
we will
है।
never be satisfied by that.
अगर आपको
This is the nature of
ऐसी
karma.
इच्छा है कि मैं
If
करोड़पति
you
बनूं,
want to become a millionaire,
तो पहले जब इच्छा नहीं हुई थी आप निष्काम थे,
when you
और
did
जब
not
आप
have that
निष्काम होते
desire,
हैं
then you were
तो मन शांत
desireless.
रहता है,
And when you are desireless,
क्योंकि ये
your
कामनाएं
mind
ऐसी
is
हैं जो
peaceful.
हमारे मन में अशांति पैदा करती हैं।
It is the desire which
तो जब कामना
creates
आई तो मन
disturbance in our mind.
अशांत हो गया,
So when you get the
फिर
desire,
कामना की पूर्ति के
your
लिए
mind becomes
बहुत
disturbed,
प्रयास किया,
and then you work very hard to
फिर
fulfill
आप
that
करोड़पति
desire,
बन गए,
and then you become
जब
a
आपकी इच्छा की
millionaire.
पूर्ति हो गई,
Now your desire is
इसका मतलब होना
satisfied,
चाहिए था कि
then you should
निष्काम
become
चित्त से काम करें,
desireless. You should
लेकिन
become
ऐसा नहीं हुआ।
nishkama. But then it does
जब
not
आप
happen.
करोड़पति बन गए तो थोड़ी देर के लिए तो आपको लगा कि अब मैं करोड़पति बन गया, या आपको
When you
कोई और
became a
वस्तु प्राप्त
millionaire,
करनी
for
थी
some time
तो वो
you
प्राप्त
may
करने
think
के
that okay,
लिए
now I
आप
become a millionaire. Or if you
थोड़ी सी
wanted some
आनंद,
object,
लेकिन उसके
you
बाद
get that
फिर
object
से
for temporarily, you feel
नई
satisfied,
इच्छा पैदा हो
peaceful.
जाती है,
But then after some time, again a new desire
फिर से इच्छा बढ़
arises.
लेती है, फिर से
So
दूसरी
this
कामना पैदा
karma,
होती है,
whenever it is
और इसी प्रकार
satisfied,
से
it
अनंत
leaves another
कामनाएं
seed there,
बढ़ती हैं।
and that seed gives rise to another
तो इसलिए उसको भी
tree of
ठीक समय
karma,
समाप्त किया जाता
and it is never satisfied. That's why we
है।
have to
कामना
kill
की
this
पूर्ति के
kamana
लिए हमें
by
कामना का त्याग
our
करना
vivek,
पड़ता है।
our discrimination only. So this
कामना का
karma
त्याग
can
करने
never
के
be
बाद हम कह
satisfied.
सकते हैं
It
कि
simply has to be
हम
given
उसकी
up.
तृप्ति कर सकते हैं।
Either we can satisfy our karma
भगवान
or
स्वयं कह रहे हैं हमें
we can give it up. Now, satisfying karma is never possible. Bhagavan himself is telling here, and who knows better than Bhagavan? Bhagavan is telling that till today
और
nobody
फिर वो
has
पूर्ति
been
होगी और उसके
satisfied,
साथ में
nobody's material desire has
आप
been
उसमें और
satisfied.
लगाएगा,
And not only that, it will also engage us,
परमात्मा में,
implicate us in sinful
क्योंकि
activity,
पुजारी का यही काम होता है, हमारा विनाश करेगा।
because that is the job of enemy.
दूसरों के
Enemy's
प्रति
job
भी
is to
हिंसा
destroy
करेंगे,
our
अपने
life.
प्रति भी हिंसा करेंगे।
So what will happen is we will become
तो ये है, तो काम
violent
आता
towards
कैसे है?
others and to ourselves also.
तो इसके लिए जो
So
भगवान ने
from where does this
संकल्प
karma
दिया है
appear?
वो
So for that, Bhagavan has told
ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात भगवान कहते हैं छठे
very
अध्याय में
important point
आके,
in the sixth
ये
chapter
जो
of
काम
Bhagavad
है
Gita that
ये संकल्प
this
से आता है।
karma, it appears
ये
by
शब्द आपने सुना
sankalpa.
होगा, संकल्प विकल्प, बहुत बार।
Now
तो
you
इसका
might have
विस्तार से
heard of
विचार
this
करें कि
earlier,
ये है क्या संकल्प,
sankalpa, vikalpa, but maybe we have not
तो कैसे
deliberated on
आता है?
this. What is
संकल्प से तो
sankalpa?
आता है ना,
Because sankalpa also appears. What is
इसीलिए
the
ये
cause of sankalpa? What is this sankalpa?
भगवान 11वें अध्याय में भी बोलते हैं ये बात को, कहते हैं कि रजो युक्त मनसः संकल्प
Bhagavan tells in 11th chapter also.
विकल्प। तो ये वहां से पता चलता है कि पहले मन में जो है वो रजोगुण आता है।
So he says that first of all,
संकल्प
rajas
आता है।
appears in the mind
तो
and
संकल्प क्या
then
है?
sankalpa
संकल्प का
appears.
मतलब होता है
So what is
शुद्धतः
sankalpa?
प्रकृतित्वादिति संकल्प। ये कल्पना करना कि कोई चीज अच्छी है,
Sankalpa means to
ये
think
संकल्प है।
that this is good.
आप किसी चीज को
That is
देखते हैं,
sankalpa.
कोई यहाँ पर
You
आता है,
see some object or you
आपसे
some
बात
person,
की जाती
somebody
है,
comes here,
बहुत
he has
सुंदर
a
कार
nice
है,
car or he is wearing
उसके
nice
पास में अच्छा
clothes
मोबाइल है,
or he
तो
has a
उसको
nice
देख के
mobile.
आपके मन
You
में एक
see
विचार
that
आता है कि ये
and
बहुत
you
अच्छा
get a
है।
thought that this
या
object
आप
is
किसी
very
स्त्री या
nice.
पुरुष को देखते हैं कि ये बहुत
Or you
सुंदर है,
see some woman or man and you
तो
think
आप
this is
ये
very
यहाँ से
beautiful.
समस्या चालू होती है।
So the problem
तो
starts
जैसे
from
ही
here.
आपके मन में ये बात आई कि ये अच्छा है, ये सुंदर है,
The moment you get the thought that this is nice, this is beautiful, now you may think that what is wrong in that? Bhagwan's creation is beautiful, but the problem is we do not see it as Bhagwan's creation. If we see like that, then there is no problem. When you see some rich person and you think this is a big person, great person, you see a sports person and think this is a very famous person, or some great guru acharya, you think he's a big guru, he has so many followers.
तो ये जब विचार आता है तो ये
So when you
देखने
get
में
this
लगता है
thought,
कि इस विचार
so
में
it
कोई
appears
समस्या नहीं है, लेकिन वास्तव में
that there is
समस्या
no problem
इस
in
विचार
this,
में बैठा हुआ है।
but actually
अगर ये
the
विचार
the seed of the
ठीक
problem lies in this thought
से आएगा
itself.
तो इसी
If
से
this
समस्या
thought comes independent of
क्योंकि जब
Bhagavan,
रजोगुण
then
प्रसूत
it
होता
starts the problem.
है, जब सत्वगुण होता है तो
Because
उसमें
this is
ऐसा कुछ
the
नहीं
thought
है, वो शांत
in Rajogun. When your thought is in Sattvagun, then there is no problem.
ज्ञान रहता है सत्व में,
Because in Sattva there is knowledge.
सदैव सौम्येदम अग्रे आसीत, ये तो सब वासुदेव ही
And
है,
what is knowledge? To understand that this is all Vasudev. Then the duality that we make, this is good, this is bad. From here only Rag Dvesh begins. What Bhagavan said earlier.
तो उस सूत्र को यहाँ जोड़िए बाप, जब आपके
So
इंद्रिय
now you connect that here. When your senses like something, then you develop rag for that. Because liking means I will get sukha, I will get happiness from this object. If you like something, it means you think that you will derive happiness from that. If you do not like something, you think that I will get suffering from this.
ये दो मन में
So from there, raga and dvesh, these two enter into the mind. We do not realize that
तो दिखती नहीं है,
it's something very subtle
जब घुसेगा
because we don't see the kamana.
आपके मन में,
Now, when it will enter into my mind, from there we develop sankalpa.
सबसे पहले वस्तु को देखकर
So, first of all,
विचार जो आता है,
by seeing the vastu, the object, when we get the thought
भक्तों में भी
of good or bad, independent of Bhagavan,
तो हमें अच्छा बुरा नहीं लगता है, लेकिन
it
उनको
is not, it happens to devotees also.
जो कोई चीज खाएगा भी तो ये भगवान का
We
प्रसाद
see,
है,
we also see something, it may be good or bad, but then we see it in relation to Bhagavan.
इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं है,
So there is nothing wrong in that.
ये सब भगवान का ही है।
That gets into the philosophy of Vasudeva Sarvamiti, everything belongs to Bhagavan.
के भक्त हैं, उच्च कोटि के
But
साधक है, ये उनको
this mentality is found in sadhakas of very high grade, great devotees. But an ordinary sadhaka does not think like that. An ordinary person does not think like that. So then he develops minus into that. Ahang.
और अविद्या का मतलब मैं अपने आप को नहीं जानता हूँ, मैं भगवान का दास हूँ, जीव
So avidya means I do not know myself, although I have forgotten that I am the das of Bhagavan.
विचारधारा ये फिर बढ़ती,
So because of this,
जैसे एक बीज होता है,
this wrong thinking, because of this avidya, this wrong thinking keeps developing.
संकल्प,
So first of all, the seed expands slightly.
फूटता है वो कामना,
Then there is
निकलता है, फिर उसमें
kamana. So then there is a tree and then it gives fruits.
कच्चे बच्चे सब फल वहां से निकलते हैं।
So all this rag, dvesh, etc., these are all the fruits of that tree. So you have to look at the root, the moola, because now once the fruits have appeared, you can't do anything. When kama has developed into krodha, then you have lost the control.
आप उसको संभाल सकते हैं,
Till the level of kama, you could have controlled. Actually, if you control at the level of sankalpa, that is best. That's why Bhagavan says,
अशेषता सबको छोड़ना, तो ये
give up
ये है
all of them. So this is sankalpa. We keep using the word sankalpa, but first of all, you have to understand what does the word sankalpa mean. So this is the root cause.
जब उस मन में ये विचार रजोगुण का प्रभाव आता है,
Now, when the mind gets influenced by rajas,
देख रहे हैं ना यहाँ पर,
because whatever variety we are seeing around us, in one way,
वास्तविकता में है नहीं है। आप जिन्होंने भी
it is not there.
वो सब जानते हैं कि
Those of you who have studied science, you know when we see some object, an image of that object gets created in our mind, and we see that image. We are not seeing the original object, we are just seeing that image. Like when you see the cinema or TV or now on mobile. So is there anything? It is just light points which are flickering there, just light. So similarly, the world is like this only. It does not mean that it is mithya. I'm not telling that, but it is not the way we think. That's why Ishopanishad says that the face of Satya is hidden by the Hiranyamaya Patra. Hiranyamaya Patra means the sun rays, because sun's rays have 7 colors. This laptop, you are seeing it as black color. Actually, it is not black. It appears black because the light that falls on this, the 6 colors get merged into it. Only the black gets reflected. That's why it appears black to you. Actually, it is not black. And everything is like that only. You see, it is like this or that. It is not like that. But due to Rajogun, we feel like that. That's why Bhagavan says,
और उससे फिर ये इच्छा आती है, और जब इच्छा आ जाती है,
so that gives rise to desire, and when you have the desire, then Maya has done her job. Now you get engaged in fulfilling that desire. So this is the story of Sankalpa, and from this Sankalpa what we get is Kama, and that Kam leads to Krodha. When Kam is unfulfilled, then we become angry, and if it is fulfilled, then we become greedy. And Krodha and Lobh, anger and greed, both give rise to Moha, illusion. Because when a person is bewildered, he cannot see objects or people as it is. He starts abusing the same person who loves him. And when a person is greedy, then also he cannot see things as it is. Nowadays, you might be hearing that people fall under digital arrest. So this is due to greed only. They scare you, or they make you greed, or they exploit your greed. So the anarthas continue like this, and here Bhagavan is explaining that this kama and krodha, he told about both together. So he said that be careful of this. So the desire that we should have, it should be related to bhakti. That's why Sri Rupa Goswami says, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Abhilasha means kamna. He said Anya Abhilashita Shunyam because all the Anya Abhilashas, the other desires that we have, they fall under Kamesha, Krodesha. They are all born of Rajoguna and they are our enemies. That's why Kamana, desire, should only be related to Bhagavan. If it is not related to Bhagavan, it will become a cause of our fall down. That's why when Bhagavan teaches Uddhavji, he goes to the extent saying,
प्रकृत्या पुरुषेण च, वो कहते हैं कि दूसरे की स्वभाव की ना प्रशंसा करो ना निंदा करो.
He says, do not praise other people's swabhava, do not criticize other people's swabhava. Now this may appear strange, that why should we not praise or criticize other people's swabhava? So the main reason behind that is this only, that when we are praising or criticizing others, of course here it does not refer to praising our great devotees and all. We are not talking about that. That leads to our purification only. But in ordinary society, we see somebody and we start praising or criticizing that person. So from there, the seed of Rajoguna enters inside us. So Bhagavan is telling very clearly that see this world as Ekatmaka, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. There is nothing good or bad here.
सेवम रही प्रकृत्या पुरुषेण च। तो ये हेय और उपादेय बुद्धि रखना,
So keeping this mentality of here and upadaya, if we have to live in the society, we have to deal. But then
राग द्वेष, समस्या असली राग द्वेष की है।
the problem really lies with raga and dvesha.
उपादेय समझने में कोई समस्या नहीं है, वो तो हम
Actually, there is no problem in understanding hey upadaya. If we are eating, we have to understand that what is favorable, what is unfavorable for my health. But if we develop raga dvesh into that, then our fall down will start.
समाप्त करना है।
So we have to
इसमें
give that up.
जो भृगु ऋषि हैं, ब्रह्मा के पुत्र हैं, तो उनकी पत्नी है पुलोमा।
So Bhrigu Rishi, who is the son of Brahma, his wife is Puloma, who is the daughter of Shukrach.
तो इसलिए वो असुरों का
Shukracharya is the guru of Asuras.
अनुकूलता थी उसके मन में।
So she used to favor the Asuras.
असुर जो है वो देवताओं से युद्ध करें और आके जो है
So
फिर
she wanted Asuras should fight against the Devas
उनको बचा लेती थी। उसके पास में संजीवनी
that come under the shantel of Bhrigu's wife.
कथा महाभारत।
She had the Sanjeevani Vidya.
भगवान विष्णु ने उसको मार दिया।
So Bhagavan Vishnu killed her.
कि स्त्री की हत्या करना,
Although it is
शास्त्र के अनुसार
according to Niti Shastra, it's a great sin to kill a woman.
हत्या भगवान ने की।
But Bhagavan killed that woman
यही दिखाने के लिए कि जो
to show
असुर का मतलब क्या है। असुन रमते इति असुर।
what does Asura mean.
भोग बुद्धि रहती है,
One who simply has mentality of enjoying. So that Asura mentality is inside us also. So we should not give shelter to that. We should not nourish or support that.
विदा करना है।
We have to
स्वयं किया है।
bid. We have to bid. We have to get rid of that.
श्लोक में भगवान बता रहे हैं।
So here
है इसमें कहने के लिए।
Bhagavan is teaching this in this verse. There are many other things to speak about this verse, but it's time, so we will stop here. If somebody has any question, you can ask.
कोई है नहीं तो ठीक है, फिर प्रार्थना श्लोक पढ़ते हैं। तो कुछ प्रार्थना श्लोक का उच्चारण करते हैं क्लास के बाद में। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Yeah, you can ask.
प्रश्न है संकल्प और रजोगुण के बीच में क्या संबंध है?
संकल्प रजोगुण से पैदा होता है।
So sankalpa is born from Rajogun. When mind is influenced by Rajogun, there is sankalpa.
संकल्प मन में उत्पन्न होता है, जैसे हमारे अंदर विचार आते हैं कि यह
So sankalpa is born in mind, like we say this is good.
ऑब्जर्व करते हैं।
So then how do we observe Rajogun in the mind? So this liking and disliking, that happens due to Rajogun only. In Sattvagun, everything is in balance. Sattvagun brings Vairagya. Rajogun gives Asakti, Ragadvesh.
सूक्ष्म स्तर पर जो अच्छा बुरा ये जो होता है ये रजोगुण से आता है।
So this like, dislike, it happens at very subtle level due to Rajogun.
उनका एक और प्रश्न भी है, क्या रजोगुण का
Next
दर्शन
question,
संभव है?
is it possible to have darshan of Rajogun? So answer, yes, it is possible.
रजोगुण का दर्शन उसके प्रभाव से ही होता है उसका दर्शन।
So Rajogun can be seen by its effect only.
चीनी है, चीनी में मिठास का
It is a gun like in sugar. Is it possible to have darshan of sweetness?
उसको तो आप स्वाद से पता लगाते, तो रजोगुण तो उसके प्रभाव से पता चलता है।
So you understand Rajogun by its influence only.
ठीक है, दर्शन खुला है अभी। So now there will be arti. You have darshan, and maybe you do not know this temple here has the Giriraj which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami, and it has the thumbprint of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on it, because he used to hold this in his hand and cry out of love for Krishna. So the stone will melt, and because it will melt, then his finger and thumb gave an impression. So this he gave to Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, who was in Jagannath Puri with him, and that one is present here, so you can all have darshan of that. So there will be arti now, and you can all join arti.